So it's finally happened. DC Comics has officially reached its tournament arc with this new event that's going to be running from now well into March of next year, and it's called DCKO. That KO does not mean what you think. Let's talk about it.
You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
Okay, so I've kind of been sitting on this for a little bit. DCKO is out. I can finally talk about everything that's going on in this first issue. And I'm going to admit, while I have been a little bit cold on some of the behind-the-scenes moves that DC Comics has been making as of late, from a narrative perspective, they're still killing it in the storytelling department. And this is really no different. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck with you. Your mileage with the story is probably gonna vary if you are not willing to allow yourself to have a little fun with this event. I'm just gonna say that. It should be obvious. This is, for all intents and purposes, the tournament arc of DC Comics. I'm not even, don't count that Injustice shit. I'm not saying Injustice is bad, but that's not a tournament arc. When I say tournament arc, I mean tournament arc. This is literally like a whole tournament with brackets and everything. If you've been keeping up with the channel for a while, you probably saw that Carter and myself on the Blerd Cave, which by the way live streams every Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, we on at least 2 separate occasions had given our breakdowns on the brackets and where it's all gonna like fall out thus far. So I do recommend go check that out if you haven't done so already. But to get into this, what is all this? Why is DC going through a tournament arc? Why are the heroes of the DC universe having to brawl for it all against each other? Well, the reason why is, and I've talked about this before in kind of a limited capacity, it has to do with the absolute universe, and more specifically, Darkseid. And this is something that has kind of been brewing over the past year or so. And if you haven't really kept up with the absolute universe and you don't really know what is happening there, go check out this video up here. It'll kind of get you primed on all that stuff. But just know, for brevity's sake, Darkseid was killed by the Justice League, and this was his intention. He wanted to die so that he could be reborn, pouring all of his Omega energy into what is effectively a resurrection attempt where he basically came back in a whole new universe, and he's become a more powerful Darkseid. And he has come back, and now he is so powerful that he can exist across all of space and time in the DC universe. He is simultaneously attacking not just Metropolis, not just Gotham. He is attacking the Rock of Eternity. He is attacking Oa. He is probably attacking the Source Wall for all we know. Whatever has happened with that. He is literally attacking everywhere simultaneously, and wherever he attacks, it becomes more Darkseid. It becomes more like Apocalypse, to the point he has even leveled up his parademons. The parademons are no longer parademons. They're Omega demons now. They have leveled up that much in the time that Darkseid has had control of the absolute universe. And to take a even finer point on it, we haven't even seen his Legion yet. Darkseid even has his own Legion, Quotey Fingers Legion of superheroes, all heroes that you would recognize who have all bent the knee to Darkseid. Darkseid in this particular instance no longer just is. He permeates himself through everything and has just basically made himself undeniable. And the only way to stop Darkseid is for the heroes of Earth to band together, but the problem is Darkseid is already won. So what do you do with that information? Well, as it turns out, Doomsday, now known as the Time Trapper, yes, the same Doomsday that famously killed Superman all those years ago, he has evolved to the point, he has died so many times, he evolves with every single death. And now he has evolved to the point that he has become the new Time Trapper. And now he, alongside other entities in the DC universe, namely characters like the World Forger, they have banded themselves together alongside Booster Gold, and now they are trying to save the universe. But the problem is, Darkseid won. Objectively, won. He defeated the heroes. So why is everything still going on as if nothing ever happened? Well, it's like I said, Doomsday is the time trapper now, and he has turned back the clock 7 days and is giving the heroes one last chance to try and figure this out, because apparently they've actually done this multiple times. Darkseid has literally won every single instance against the Justice League. We just didn't see it. But except for in this one moment where it's realized there is a way to stop this, because Booster Gold has been held captive by Darkseid since the Absolute Universe was formulated, and he's been held by Darkseid for quite some time. In the span of the time that everything has been occurring, Booster Gold has been Darkseid's captive for eons, and because he has been captive for so long by Darkseid, he has absorbed so much Omega energy, and they're going to use this Omega energy to kickstart the heart of Apocalypse, something that has been buried at the center of the Earth. And when they do this, it's going to transport them to a very special arena, one with multiple rings, multiple challenge levels, and almost kind of like a combat tower, if you will, if you're familiar with like Mortal Kombat. That's basically what the DC universe is going to have to contend with. And now 32 people must come together in order to fight to see who will be the next KO. Because that's exactly what this is all about. DC KO does not mean DC knockout. It means DC King Omega. And whoever wins becomes the King Omega, effectively becoming a new Darkseid, because the only thing that can defeat Darkseid at this point is another Darkseid. So that's why all this is happening, and all the heroes that are coming together to fight in this, they have to decide who is going to go, and for the most part, they all kind of decide they're all going, except for the Titans, because there needs to be heroes left behind in case something bad happens while all the heroes in Earth just mysteriously have gone off to some other, realm or universe to fight it all out. They need to have somebody left behind to fight whatever villains remain. And while they do come up with a plan that is kind of interesting, they actually go through the trouble of trying to like Phantom Zone all of the various and sundry different villains who they feel are a threat. Most of them being Batman villains, oddly enough. But there are like pretty much all the villains, anyone that they deem like being too powerful to just let run unchecked. They namely go after characters like the Joker, Lex Luthor, King Shark, which I thought King Shark was an interesting choice because King Shark usually kind of just keeps to himself. I mean, yes, he does do stuff, but he's not like, he is powerful, but he's not like the biggest, baddest mofo in the DC universe, but that's another story altogether. But they go after the types of villains that you would ultimately expect them to go after. And I'm gonna go into right now, it doesn't really work out. And I think the solicits kind of gave this away too. Joker, Lex Luthor, they are on the brackets, and the brackets have been public knowledge for quite some time. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh my God, it's such a surprise. No, it's not a surprise. We knew this going in. If you look at the brackets as they are, we already knew that Giganta, King Shark, Lex Luthor, Starro, and Joker were going to be a part of this. And oddly enough, when you know who won the pony, while yes, some of these were villains that were put away, they do find a way to get around it, because Lex Luthor is not just going to let Superman run off and save the world without him getting a taste of what's going on here. Not to mention, it's an opportunity for Lex Luthor to get some power, because while Lex has kind of been going through a bit of a transitional period as of late, Lex Luthor is still Lex Luthor at heart. And everyone is getting ready to go out and do this whole thing, and they're allowed to bring one thing with them to aid them in their battles. In the case of some characters, Superman, as we have seen kind of in a lot of the solicits and covers, he's going to be bringing his solar knuckles with him, something that it's stated he forged after his fight with Doomsday initially when he came back from the dead, that he literally took these suns from dead galaxies and universes and basically placed them into a set of what are effectively brass knuckles, but they're solar knuckles, and just allow him to be that much more powerful. We also know that Batman is bringing a special suit, one that it's not actually the suit that I think they actually showed off at first. This is going to be something else. He's basically bringing what he refers to as the Justice Buster Mark II. Diana is going to be bringing her God Killer armor. If you're familiar with the God Killer sword that popped up in the Deathstroke series, you could probably imagine what this would do. The God Killer sword was a sword that literally had the power to kill a god. It was created by Hephaestus. I'm pretty sure the armor itself probably the same thing. It's probably just a suit of armor that Wonder Woman can wear that would give her the power to kill a god. Plain and simple. And we also know the characters like Cyborg is upgrading himself with a new father box. And there's all kinds of other stuff that, I'm sure other heroes are probably going to be bringing with them into the proceedings. And you're probably wondering, well, okay, wait a minute. They're bringing all this OP stuff. Well, wait a minute. Why? Because if they gotta fight each other, and it's kind of been implied that this is supposed to be fights to the death. They don't necessarily say out loud fights to the death, but they do say fights without mercy. And the reason why is because they have to fight each other, probably, if not to the death, damn near to it, because that's the only thing that the Heart of Apocalypse will respond to. Whoever is going to become the new Darkseid has to literally conquer all, and you can't conquer all if you're letting people walk away willy-nilly. So yeah, that's why a lot of the heroes are bringing out their biggest and baddest weapons, even though technically they're all chummy with each other and they don't really want to harm each other on any major level. It does kind of send a little bit of a mixed message, but I mean, I kind of get the energy that they're going for here. That's why I say, honestly, you just kind of got to run with this shit. Just run with it. Don't overthink this shit. Just go with it. Treat it the same way y'all treat anime. Don't overthink it. Fucking go with it. Because if you think too hard, you're going to talk yourself up out of this shit. What I think is interesting about, like, the way they kind of show you how the 32 characters come to be on the brackets, it's basically because when they initially get to the arena, they basically have to haul ass through a booby-trapped arena and get to a portal that will place them into the rings where they're going to be facing off with each other. And what's kind of funny about the whole thing is that they pretty much let you know off rip what characters had no fucking chance. Like, case in point, there are a couple of particular moments where I kind of felt like, man, DC really just let Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson just shit all over a couple of characters off top. Like Shazam gets shit on immediately because steps on a trap, boom, up out of here. They even bring back their Hulk rip-off, Damage, a character who I don't think I have seen hide nor hair of since the new era, or what was it, the new age of superheroes that DC did after Dark Knight's Metal. There was a character named Damage who literally was a Hulk. He was a Hulk in all but name, and he was some straight up cheeks, and DC just let him fall by the wayside, and they bring him back, quite literally bring him back, and basically have him act like he's about to do something, and he gets iced less than 3 panels away after being reintroduced. He's gone just like that. We see characters like, well, granted, Ambush Bug, it's pretty obvious Ambush Bug is not going to make it. He even kind of says as much that he is not going to make it, and sure as shit, he does not make it. It's kind of funny how it all plays out. But yeah, the thing that ends up happening that I thought was really cool is that, they have this whole board game analogy at the very beginning of this where Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman are playing a board game that was made by Batman, and it's one where like everybody supposedly gets to win, nobody really loses, and that's kind of why the Trinity is engaging with this idea to have this tournament the way that they're going to do, because they are hoping that they can circumvent the rules, that they're going to be able to make it where everybody can win. And that's why Superman, while he could have just as easily gotten into the portals before anybody else, he's staying behind because he's trying to make sure everybody else can get in the portals. He's trying to ensure that everybody can win. But the problem is, once they actually get most of everybody in the portal, 30 people have made it into the portals, and Superman is looking around and he notices that Batman hasn't gotten in the portals yet. And it becomes very clear that Batman very likely had some other plan that he was enacting. Like, he probably had no real intention of getting involved in the tournament, but it doesn't matter because Batman gets iced. Batman gets cleaned up by the Joker because, as I said earlier, the villains who they thought they put away, some of them got out. Once again, we see Giganta, Cheetah, Joker, King Shark, Lex Luthor, and Starro. They are very much there, and Joker basically harpoons Batman and presumably kills him. Now, the real question is, does this actually kill Batman? I don't think it does. I think it's safe to say, let's go ahead and clean this up right now. I don't think it kills him. I think any of the people who got cleaned up in this, gauntlet, I think we can all say with positivity, they do not die. And even if they do die, something will happen, shenanigans will be enacted, and they will be brought back. I mean, let's just go ahead and be honest with ourselves about this. There's no way that Batman dies in this, and then, oh, Batman's dead for... No, he's not dead. Stop that. But yeah, the thing is, like, the reason why all this is happening is kind of interesting because, like, there's a point where as the Heart of Apocalypse is narrating all of this, the Heart of Apocalypse basically tells us that before he crosses the finish line, Lex turns to Superman and smiles and says that there's something in Lex's smile. It takes Clark a moment to realize that it's pity. It's a smile that says, go save a fucking cat from a tree. But leave this to us, Boy Scout. Basically, this is Lex's way of saying, hey, you don't have what it takes. You don't have that dog in you to go as far as will need to be gone in order to become the next King Omega to fight Darkseid. Now, once again, as I stated earlier, Lex has ulterior motives all the time. And I'm pretty sure that Lex is the last person that needs to be the King Omega. But what's kind of cool about this is that it does kind of showcase that, yeah, maybe Lex does feel like it's going to take someone with a little bit of evil in him to be able to go as far as what's necessary, and Clark just isn't up to the task. So like I said, we have every single contender that is going to be involved in this. Batman clearly is not going to be involved in it. And if you look at the bracket, you can already see his name has been scratched out with a little Joker smile, which basically lets you know Joker is going to be stepping in for him and taking his spot and taking on Star Sapphire in the proceedings. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I'll go ahead right now. We've talked about this before on the Blur Cave. I think this bracket is nasty work. I thought it was really, like, both sad and hilarious that if you really pay attention to, like, what's going on, like, and you know me, yeah, I'm always going to look at this from a social commentary standpoint. So if you don't like that, then I guess it's safe to say you're not going to be happy with what I have to say. But I always find it interesting that they are quite literally placing a lot of the black characters in places where if they were to pass a first round, they would literally have to fight each other. And I'm like, bruh, what are we doing? What are we doing here, man? What is this? Why are we doing this? Why are we like this? DC, why are you like this? It's like, look, we're going to set this up to where either no black character is going to pass to the next round, or we're going to set this up where if they do pass the next round, only one of you Negroes is going to be able to go to the next. It's kind of crazy how they do this, because like you look at this bracket, Lex Luthor versus Black Lightning. Okay, look, any day of the week, I'm taking Black Lightning. But I know how DC operates, and they're not going to let Black Lightning beat Lex Luthor, no matter how valid, the reasons you can come up with that would dictate that Black Lightning would clean Lex Luthor up 10 times out of 10. Like, they're just, it's not even a question. It's not even close. And yet they're going to try and convince me that Lex Luthor is going to, like, finesse his way past Black Lightning. You're also taking a character like Swamp Thing, a character who's one of the most powerful beings in all the universe, and you're going to put him up against Vixen, which I kind of get there with Vixen. You got the red versus the green, because she's a part of the red. That's her spectrum. But Swamp Thing is the green. And in my heart of hearts, I would want Vixen to win, but I know deep down there's no fucking way. I'm keeping it a buck with you. And while technically, you've also got characters like Cyborg, who's going up against Batwoman, go back to my earlier statement. Even if for whatever reason Vixen was able to get past Swamp Thing, and for whatever reason Cyborg was to get past Batwoman, even though technically I do feel like Cyborg could easily clean up Batwoman, but Batwoman is Batwoman, so Bat privilege is about to come into play, which means she probably has the fucking Konami code to shut Cyborg down, because, fuck, that's what a Batman would do. Why wouldn't a Batwoman do that? So yeah, even if there was a universe where Vixen and Cyborg advanced, they would have to fight each other. And it's like, bruh, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? We're like, we want to guarantee no Negro makes it past this first round, and if they do, they make it past the second. I fucking hate DC Comics for that shit. Now, the real big deal here in this, the thing that's got people really talking about DC KO is the reveal at the end. And the reveal is that Darkseid, as I said earlier, the very beginning of this video, I said Darkseid is already won. And I said it again when we started talking about DCKO proper at the beginning of this video. Well, Darkseid is still going to win because Darkseid is hiding in plain sight. Not only is he hiding in plain sight, but he has got hitters out there working for him. He has 3 destroyers, 3 characters who come from the absolute universe. And guess what? It's the characters you probably imagine it's going to be. It's the absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, the absolute Trinity. And Darkseid is also hiding amongst them. There is somebody amongst them who Darkseid has already taken over. And it shouldn't really be terribly shocking considering everything that has been going on. And that is Booster Gold. Booster Gold was literally held captive by Darkseid for that long. Do you think the guy got away willy-nilly without anything, no contingencies or anything like that? Being waiting in the wings or anything? No, it's very much clear. Booster Gold is going to get that ass. Booster Gold is right there right now, and Booster Gold is going to be instrumental in helping whoever wins the whole DCKO thing getting the power that would make them the new King Omega. Why would Booster Gold hand that over if he's being controlled or being replaced by Darkseid? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and also, if you're watching this on mobile, use that hype feature. It'll help boost this video and get it in front of way more people. And not only that, if you're watching this video and you are not yet subscribed to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and tapping that notification bell. And not only hitting the notification bell, but selecting all notifications, so that way you don't miss a single video that I put out, because I'll keep it a buck with you. Hitting customized notifications or some notifications, it's as good as hitting no notifications. So make sure you hit all notifications when you tap that bell. Anyway, we up out of here. Keep it plus ultra in the comments and let me know what you think about DCKO so far. Until next time, we out of here. Peace out.